time is 12 noon and you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV, Abuja. Many thanks for joining. The top stories. Federal government also prioritize local solutions to address power sector. The Lagos Assembly Governors Advisory Councils in crucial meeting over Obasanjo's fate. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control tightens airport surveillance as Uganda battles Ebola. And now to the business news. Dangote price slash. Marketers with imported fuel fear losses. And to the foreign space, U.S. President Donald Trump accuses South Africa of confiscating land and plans to cut funding. Details coming up shortly. Welcome back and thank you once again for joining us on today's program. My name is Idris Amina. Now, the federal government has been advised to prioritize local solutions to address country's recurrent grid collapse. Managing Director of Coleman Wires and Cables Industries Limited, Mr. George Onafuwokan, gave the advice while reacting to constant grid collapse and government declaration of investment opportunities in the power sector. According to him, it is important to industrialize the power sector, adding that there is a need to deregulate the power industry. Onafuwokan said locally manufactured products might be more expensive due to high production costs. However, pointed out that achieving the right investment rests on the private sector-driven policies. In another news, for the 18th time, the Governor's Advisory Council of the Lagos All Progressive Congress is set to hold an emergency crucial meeting today over the lingering leadership crisis in the state's House of Assembly. The meeting is scheduled to hold at the Lagos House Marina, the official residence of the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. GAC is the apex decision-making organ of APC, whose decisions are binding on members. The council is led by Pa Tajuddin Olushi, with President Bola Tinubu as a lifetime patron. The GAC held a similar meeting about 2 weeks ago at the same venue over development at the Lagos State House of Assembly. And also, the governor is expected to hold the weekly Monday Executive Council meeting simultaneously, which is expected to also deliberate on the crisis and the legislative arm of government with the aim of finding a lasting and amicable solution. However, in the wake of Obasanjo's removal, the unfolding event further polarized the ranks of GAC. And now to some health news. Following the confirmation of an Ebola virus disease outbreak in Uganda, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has intensified surveillance at the country's point of entry, including the airports. The agency also advised Nigerians to avoid non-essential travel to affected countries. In a public health advisory issued by the NCDC Director-General, Dr. Jide Idris, the agency emphasized that there are currently no reported cases of Ebola in Nigeria. Although in 2014, Nigeria experienced an Ebola outbreak following the entry of an infected patient, Sawyer, from Liberia into the country. Sawyer's first contact, Dr. Ameyo Adadevo, the lead consultant physician and endocrinologist at First Consultant Medical Center Ikoyi, lost her life but prevented the spread of the dreaded disease. And on January 30th, 2025, Uganda confirmed an Ebola case caused by the Sudan virus species in Wakiso, Mukono, and Mbale City in Mbale district. So far, only one case has been recorded, resulting in one fatality, and authorities are monitoring 44 identified contacts. The NCDC noted that Uganda has significant experience in responding to Ebola outbreaks and has initiated necessary containment measures. And now to business news. The decision by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to reduce the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit on Saturday night came at huge cost to many petroleum marketers. Marketers who spoke to the media said a sudden price reduction by the Dangote Refinery must have occasioned by the recent warnings that some traders were planning to resort to importation if the foreign PMS remains cheaper than the ex-depot prices of locally refined products. On Saturday night, the 650,000 capacity refinery told Nigerians that it had reduced its price from 950 naira to 890 naira per litre. The statement also noted that the price reduction would significantly lower the cost of petrol across the country, generating a positive ripple effect throughout the broader economy. The refinery has also called on marketers across the country to ensure that the benefits of the reduced price are passed on to the Nigerian public. However, marketers said the price reduction has both positive and negative effects on their business. In an interview with journalists, the Vice President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Hamed Fashola, said the price reduction is a good development, but it will surely affect business in negative and positive ways. You're watching news analysis on P&B TV. We will go on a short break, and when we're back, we'll bring you more reports. Welcome back. It's good to know you're still with us. Now let's take some foreign news. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday asserted South Africa was confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly, as he announced he was cutting off all future funding to the country pending an investigation. The land issue in South Africa has long been divisive with efforts to redress the inequality of whites' rule, drawing criticism from conservatives, including Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest person, who was born in South Africa and is a powerful Trump advisor. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa last month signed a bill that stipulates the government may, in certain circumstances, offer nil compensation for property it decides to expropriate in the public interest. Pretoria argues the bill does not allow the government to expropriate property arbitrarily and must first seek to reach agreement with the owner. However, some groups fear a situation similar to Zimbabwe government's seizure of white-owned commercial firms, often without compensation, after independence in 1980. Later in a briefing with journalists, Trump said that South Africa's leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things, without giving examples. And that's that on foreign news. Let's connect with Abel Sunday for sports updates.
Good afternoon, welcome to P&B Sport News. I'm Abel Sunday. Arsenal demolished Manchester City 5-1 at Emirates Stadium. The Gunners got off to a lightning first start, with Martin Odegaard scoring in just the second minute thanks to Kai Havertz's unselfish pass. Thomas Partey added to the lead in the 57th minute with a deflected shot, followed by Luis Calle's stunning goal in the 62nd minute. Kai Havertz made up for his earlier miss with a goal in the 76th minute, and Etienne Nwaneri sealed the deal with a brilliant strike in the 93rd minute. Manchester City only goal came from Erling Haaland in the 55th minute, but it wasn't enough to overcome Arsenal's dominant performance. This will keep Arsenal's titles hope alive, and they will hope to carry this momentum into the next game. Manchester United suffered a disappointing 2-0 loss to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. The match was marked by Palace's solid defensive performance and clinical finish. John Phillippe scored both goals for Palace, one in the 64th minute and another in the 89th minute. Manchester United loss to Palace was a setback in their quest for a top four finish. The team struggled to create clear-cut chances, and their defense was vulnerable to Palace counter-attack. That's all for sports today. I'm Abel Sunday.
Welcome back. In line with World Cancer Day, we would be directing our today's focus to countering cancer, the hope and resilience. Cancer, a world that has touched countless lives, whether through personal experience or witnessing a loved one's journey, it brings forth myriad emotions. Yet, while the path may be fraught with challenges, there is an incredible potential for resilience, revival, and growth that many have tapped into, turning their battles into a source of inspiration. For many cancer patients, receiving a diagnosis of cancer and undergoing a treatment together comprise an extremely stressful experience that can render individuals vulnerable to long-lasting negative psychological outcomes, including emotional distress, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, fatigue, and impaired quality of life. Cancer is commonly perceived as a life-threatening and potentially traumatic illness, perceptions exacerbated by its sudden onset and uncontrollable nature. To discuss today's focus, I will be joined by Hajia Sakina Lawal, the former health editor, National Mirror newspaper. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us on today's program, ma'am.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. So I will begin by asking, as a health editor, what do you have to say to us today concerning the World Cancer Day that it's being held today?
Yeah, like we know, every 4th of February is marked worldwide as World Cancer Day. And the essence of this is to raise awareness and educate people about the prevention, identification, treatment options for this life-threatening disease. And the theme for this year, United by Unique, that's to highlight the importance of personalized care and treatment. According to WHO, that's the World Health Organization, cancer is the biggest cause of death worldwide, and is accounting for nearly 10 million deaths. But among those treatment options that we've been given,
yes,
what we've known, what we are aware of, the chemotherapy, the radiotherapy, combination of radio and chemo, we really need to be looking at this critically.
yes.
Because what we've observed is that because of the lot of lapses in some of these treatment options, we have some countries all over the world. They are devoting huge sum of money to, other treatment options for cancer. They are looking for better, ways of treating this life-threatening disease. Like in 2023, United States of America, in their annual budget,
Yes.
they have like 1.8 billion US dollars that is devoted to a stem cell research in 2023. And this stem cell research, it's been estimated by World Health Organization and some other global communities that the global stem cell market size will be close to 18.9 billion in the next 5 years. That's by 2030. So as a nation, as a country, what are we doing? What are we looking at? Because we've noticed lapses in some of these other options, then we also should be forward-looking. We should be thinking about the citizens. We should be thinking about the populace. Fine, the Cancer Day is about awareness, what people do, what they should not do, how to prevent the ailments. I know in your program, a lot of these must have been talked about, like people taking care of their lifestyle, avoiding sugary food,
Yes.
then being conscious of genetically modified food. They are all over us. GMOs, food, all these things, because their genetics has been tampered with, they have side effects on our system. In those days, we have particular time of the year where you have certain fruits, when you can harvest cassava, when you can do this. But year-round now, you see all these things. This is because their genetical makeup has been tampered with, so they can grow throughout the year.
Alright,
And we are in a fast pace.
Okay. So talking about the health
Because we
sector,
are-
I want you to take us through the policies that you think can be implemented to improve cancer care access and affordability.
Yes. We also must be looking at what other nations are doing. Like, I mentioned the research in US. We also have another research in Switzerland by the renowned scientist, Dr. Fred Zole. They've just discovered a plant-based stem cell therapy. Other stem cell therapy that we've been used to before, the adult stem cell of this world, the bone marrow transplants, and the drugs and some other things, we all know that they come with their side effects. When they do all these transplants, the kidney transplant, the organ transplants, even for cancer treatments, despite the immunosuppressant they give patients, they still react to all these things. And that's why we have high morbidity rates from cancer disease. People die a lot. Even if we don't believe the statistics we are reeling out, a visit to any of our teaching hospitals or general hospitals will tell us the serious situation we have at hand. Even for children, you have a lot of children coming down with cancer. So when we have this new research, that is talking about plant-based stem cell therapy without side effects, even if we don't believe the research that has been done in Switzerland, in US, in Malaysia, Nigeria as a nation, our policy makers, they should also be looking at, okay, can we replicate this in our time here? We have a lot of experienced scientists in our universities. We have a lot of experienced researchers in our various teaching hospitals. They can also look at, okay, this plant-based stem cell that some people are using, that they are saying it does not have side effects. What can we do about it? The United States of America, they have Food and Drug Administration Control. They just approved this plant-based stem cell therapy that we are talking about. That's the phytoscience plant-based stem cell therapy. For FDA to approve anything, what it goes into it. So as a nation, our policy makers should also do something that will help the masses. They should do something that will help the citizens. We don't have to be fixated on old method of treatment that are not yielding results. This new plant-based stem cell therapy that people are talking about is been very effective for cancer and some other chronic ailments, because it goes into the stem cells of humans and repair and regenerate new cells for all those damaged tissue cells and organs. If we have something that is regenerative in nature, we should also go for it. We should also invite that, because that will be for the good of humanity and the citizens in general.
All right, so you made mention of children coming down with cancer while you were giving us this lecture. So I'd love to ask, for young people, what are the steps that you can take to reduce the risk of developing cancer later in life?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with our lifestyle. What we take in. We know there are some factors that are environmental in nature, like we have pollutions everywhere, we have radiations everywhere. There are certain things that people might not be able to control. Pollutions coming from generator fumes, from bad cars or
From
buses
industries
around us,
yes.
industries around us. They emit a lot of things into the air. These are pollutants that, affect us negatively. As much as possible, people should try as much as possible to avoid that kind of environment. And when we eat, there is a research that confirmed that the nature of our system, acidic and alkaline nature of our system, if we feed too much on sugary, things, we know the body needs sugar, but we can get this from natural sources.
Yes.
If we are feeding too much on sugary things, the tendency is that our bloodstream will be too acidic. And when the bloodstream is too acidic, cancer thrives in such environments. So also, lifestyle, everything we use these days, our gadgets, the phones, the computers, they all emit blue light rays. All these emissions coming from the gadgets we carry about, research has confirmed that they do affect our system. So it's going to be an accumulation of a lot of things over a long period of time. And that's why we have to be, very deliberate about lifestyle, what we eat, the environment we find ourselves.
That's more of doing things.
Yeah. More of green things, more of fruits and vegetables, being in natural environments where you have green leaves, you have nature as its best.
All right, so now for the general public, what are the signs and symptoms to watch out for that could indicate cancer?
Yes, we really need to take into cognizance the fact that we need to be checking our health status often, regularly. In this part of the world, for a lot of people, it's not in their habit to be checking. When you go for regular checkup, you can see some of these telltale signs. It depends on where the cancer is, and that's where the type of symptoms you'll be feeling. And we have different cancer, the cancer of the breast, cancer of the various organs of our body. It can be blood cancer, known as leukemia. You have different kinds of cancer. So, depending on which part of the body this is affecting, that is the kind of symptoms you'll be getting. So the best thing is to, go for regular medical checkups, so that if there is need to do MRI, if there is need to do this scan, if there is need to do that, everything will be properly done so that treatment options can be given. But the advice we are giving, especially to our medical persons, is not to be fixated on doing things, of doing things that are not really yielding results for us.
Exactly.
It's good to be open to new knowledge, new options, treatment. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Due to time factor, we'd love to stop here. Thank you very much, Hajia Sakina Lawal, for joining us on today's program. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure being here. Thanks, I'm not really happy.
Thank you. And there has been Hajia Sakina Lawal, a former health editor for National Mirror newspaper. Thank you for joining us on today's program. My name is Idris Amina. Bye for now.